Morning in USA, Canada. Good afternoon in UK, Europe, and Africa. There are a lot of people who come on this show. And good evening in Asia Pacific, India, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. A lot of people. In fact, there were two people from Pakistan who joined other day. Afghanistan, of course, people joined. And late good evening in Australia. We got people from Brisbane, Sydney, Perth joining. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very powerful day. For me, this evening, I am really thrilled and excited to welcome someone very young, bright, dynamic, and a versatile Dr. Ankita Singh, whom I admire the most as a very strong HR leader with very beautiful, simple, and elegant HR traits and leadership traits to this prime time excellence series called New DNA of Leadership, which is probably where I got a lot of great business leaders, army leaders, police leaders, education excellence leaders, human resource leaders, marketing leaders, business leaders to this show. Dr. Singh, Dr. Ankita, indeed my honor to welcome you to this powerful new DNA of leadership.
Thank you so much, Bakshi sir. I think more than you, it's an honor for me to be here and to share this space with you. You mentioned that you admire me, but I think my entire team, and the day I met you in Delhi, since then I've been following your work, and I think learning new things every single day from you. So thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here and to share whatever I have learned so far from different people and have a candid conversation. Thank you so much for inviting over.
Dr. Singh is full of humility. And I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, whosoever has joined us and who are going to be joining us later or who are going to be watching this program later, you will certainly see that this interaction is going to be very powerful, very meaningful, full of learnability, not only for all of you, even for me personally, because I am a student of management and leadership, and I am still young student asking questions and questions and questions. So that's what I'm going to be doing today to Dr. Ankita Singh. And the format would be the same. I would introduce Dr. Singh first. After that, I will have my questions, which I will be asking Dr. Ankita Singh. And in the meanwhile, whosoever has joined at various platforms, please keep parking your questions in the Q&A box. I will facilitate the entire process of your question. I will ensure that we don't allow Dr. Ankita Singh to go. In Narula, you have 7 p.m. in Bangkok. So, we go till 9 p.m. sometimes. So we will not allow her to go. I want her to respond to every question so that we get a lot of insights from this young, wonderful, a great business HR leader. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned, enjoy the talk, enjoy the flow, and you will see the beauty getting, exchanged between two of us, because I believe that my guest of honor has got so much to share. Even this 1 hour interaction will be less. Let me introduce Dr. Ankita Singh is presently the Senior Vice President and Global Head of HR, IT, Administration, and even Travel at Signex Datamax. Ankita has near about 2 decades of progressive experience in managing and leading various aspects of human resources business HR. spanning across high-paced business domains of ITES. I am zero at IT and ITES. I come from manufacturing, consumer durable, FMCG, and IT and ITES is zero for me. In addition to all the functions, the way she has been leading not only the human resources, handling admin, travel, resource management. When you look at Dr. Ankita, she holds a PhD in management. She is a gold medalist in BBA as well as MBA. Wow. She has done her HR and business strategy related to executive management programs from IIM Ahmedabad, ISB management programs from IIM Ahmedabad, ISB Hyderabad, and XLRI. She is a certified TPA Thomas profiling practitioner. She has been over 20 years into the field of human resources. And when you look at her, expertise, you will see that she has been someone who drove and institutionalized the culture at various organizations, including Signex, which has resulted into company being certified as great place to work in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2019, 20, 2020, 21. In fact, recently she has been awarded among Forbes India top 100 great managers by a study conducted by GMI India. Wow. Apart from great recognition, Dr. Singh has also successfully completed one of the most prestigious certification from Harvard Business School online, which is Sustainable Business Strategy. She is an expert on transformational change management, M&A initiatives. I have also done a lot of work at M&A that links me to her. We can ask certain questions. She has extensively worked on various aspects of organizational behavior, leadership development, employee engagement. She has been recognized at different very prestigious platforms for her contribution and excellence in the field of HR and leadership. She was awarded CHRO of the Year 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017. Again, 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017. Women Personality, wow, of the Year 2019 and 2018 by Femina. Business Person of the Year 2020. Most Influential Corporate Personality 2019. Indian Business Women of the Year 2019. Women Leader of the Year 2019. Inspiring Personality of the Year 2019. Most Influential HR Leader of 2019. Wow. Best Employee Engagement Project Designer for 2019. And the list is big. These are only few. She believes in driving organization culture through people, 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 and people. She says processes are owned by people and it's people who drive the processes and products and the profitability. Wow, what a statement. Apart from her professional excellence, she is very active in supporting social causes by working closely with various NGOs on child education and development. Oh, she is a great traveler. She must come to Bangkok and passionate photographer. So when you look at all this list, CHROs, Glory of India Award, HR Champion Award, Indian Business Excellence Award, Make in India 2019 Award, Most Influential Corporate Personality Award. So, and then she, in addition to this, she has a lot of publications. Impact of recession in HR practices, 2020 tech and human oriented trends for 2020, building new age HR in the transformational VUCA world, preserving human aspect of HR, preserving and recruitment process outsourcing, use of technology in workplace to motivate employees. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to bore you, but let's give a big round of applause to such a dynamic, versatile, multitask, multinational, multi-skilled Dr. Ankita Singh. Ankita, I must salute you. Let me
Thank you so much, sir.
standing ovation to you for your being
Bakshi,
present.
sir, thank you so much. I mean, that's really kind of you to say it in this manner, but we have done nothing in front of what you have done and what you've been already doing. So thank you. Thank you so much. Means a lot to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me see who all are joining and let's get going. Yeah, Shefali single, 10S of women power from Noida. And I can see Ashok Kumar joined already. I can see Rajendra Kanishraji, president of Aditya Birla group from Thailand, Bangkok, a great human being and a great professional already joined. I can see Ashok already joined. I can see Ravi Saigal, India Thai Chamber of Commerce, president already joined. I'm seeing a lot of people already on the platform, and I can see, oh, I can see Nade from Sydney is already there. Wow, fascinating. Let me ask the first question, Dr. Ankita. Your
Yes, sir.
journey of 2 decades, great professional, various roles, HR in great organizations. When I saw the list where you worked, very immensely, it's very respectable. I am keen and I would like to know from you. I mean, what was your upbringing? I want to see that small child and that to a girl child. Though we are not in a women power program today, we are into new DNA of leadership. But as a child, how did you go, grow, and glow to the level of what you are today? Go, grow, and glow. I need to know about your parents, your mom, your dad, and your family.
Yes. So a difficult question. I mean, 40 years to be concised and put in a statement is difficult, but I'll still try. I think my childhood memories say that it was quite simple, but at the same time challenging because I have been a boarder throughout all my life. I think first standard onwards, I was in a hostel, and life was great. Initial, I remember when I was born, my mom was working, and she was working full time with 12 to 13 hours of her shift. And it was difficult for her to take care of me. So initial 3 to 3.5 years, I was with my grandparents. And then by the time I came back and started staying with my parents, they realized that probably I'm too notorious, and they will not be able to handle me alone or with a nanny or a caretaker. So that was the decision they took. And then rest of my life was as a boarder. Now, as a boarder, I would say childhood is uh, a very fascinating, challenging, because you learn everything on your own. You meet people, you meet your own challenges, you handle your own challenges. So when you are at home and you get hurt, 10 people will be running towards you, from your grandparents to your parents, saying that, Vera, don't worry, we are here. When you are a boarder and you get hurt, probably somebody would ask, if it's too much, then we can take you to a sick room, otherwise manage it yourself. So there was a lot of learning from day one. I don't think got pampered too much unless I was back home during my breaks and vacation. So it was really good. I don't know if I can add that scenario to the growth I have seen or the kind of career I have. Not 100%, a lot would go to my parents and to anybody and everybody who has been part of my life. But yes, a substantial amount of what I am today, I would say it is because of the life I have led in hostel. So it was good. It was really good.
Fascinating. That sounds great. Yeah, parents, and then getting into a hostel at a age which is nothing, and then getting back home and being with mom and dad, spending time with them, getting through their learning. Tell me, in human resources, how did you get into human resources? And why? Why HR? Why not some other? Did you plan? Was there anybody who mentored you, who shared that this is a line where you could excel or you have the qualities of becoming a great HR leader? Was there something like that, or it was just, by chance you went to HR?
So, Bakshi sir, I am the only child, and though I was staying away from parents, my parents had a difficult life initially. They were also not very sure of what they should take up as their career. So nobody was into business, but dad started business on his own, and whatever he is all by himself. Similarly, there was nobody in crime investigation department or in police from our family, but my mom decided to take that path, and she excelled really well. So at that time, when I'm talking about say 2000 or 1999, for most of the parents, the career options were either the child should become a doctor or an engineer. So similarly, I'm in very basic need, and that's what my parents also thought. They asked me that I should opt one of these, and I would not say under pressure, but yes, understanding their concern for my career, I opted for engineering, and I took admission. After 3 months of being there in the class, attending it every day, I realized that this is not something that I'm enjoying. And I discussed with my parents, and they were like, no, but you're already there. We have done all the formalities. It's a course, and you have to complete it. And uh, don't think beyond a point. Just take a day as it comes. But I was somewhere back in mind, I was not very convinced. I wanted to, do something different. And because when I gave my entrance for engineering, and after finishing 12, there was a gap in between. And I started working with Reliance as a customer care executive. That's where I started interacting with people, what kind of calls I'm getting when people used to come to office, how we are interacting, what is the need, what's the ask. And somewhere I thought that I would prefer more of that than sitting on a system and working. Probably it should be more generic, and that is something that I would enjoy. So parents were against it, but I decided whatever money I had saved, my pocket money, I went to a management college, met the director, and requested if I can be given a chance. He said, "You are 3 months late, but there's no harm in trying. If at all you can pick up, no worries." So that's how I paid my own fees and I took admission. And while I was studying there, I continued working with Reliance, and later I joined Sahara Group as HR trainee. And that's when I understood the profile, what you actually do, how you connect with people, what kind of a profile it is. And and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed meeting with people, understanding what's their concern, addressing those concerns. And at that age, being part of the bigger system, bigger role was super fascinating. So did I plan? No, I didn't plan, because at that point in time, I didn't even know that what all we have in HR and what am I supposed to do to get into in HR field. But when I got into it, I so much wanted to move it from interest area to a dream. And after I finished my BBA, that's how I decided that I'll go ahead with MBA, and I would want to seriously take this up as my career.
Great. Well, you were talking about great companies, of course, 20 years back when Sahara was one of the leading names in the country. I remember 99, 2000, Converges, Zensar, Hexaware, Datamatics, and finally to Signex. Now, all these roles would have added a lot of value to your persona, to your business dynamics, to your business HR. But at the same time, these roles may have given you some challenges, tough challenges. That too, especially when you are a women HR manager or a leader going forward, how has been your journey in terms of looking at challenges, breaking the challenges into pieces, and making it a great opportunity for not only for yourself, but for your people, because you are responsible for the entire people processes of the organization. Because your role is a people role. How tough, how difficult it was for you to break those challenges. And in case you can throw some light on one or two areas which made you little painful, but finally gave you a lot of gain, because every pain is followed by a gain. And we all always say that it is to fall is not a failure, it is only when we do not get up again. So every pain gives us a learning experience. In case you can share, because ladies and gentlemen, it's important for you to understand a young dynamic personality today, well known in the country and the global world, but she has also gone to tough times to be where she is today. So, therefore, it may be a great learning for my audience. Ankita ji.
Yeah, yeah. So challenges, I think challenges have always been part of everybody's life, and my life was no different. And I think when we talk about today, even now we are going through a lot of challenges, and that's how the journey will remain. But primary changes when I challenges when I talk, about work, I think everything was shaken badly when I realized that whatever we learn, or the amount of time I have spent in BBA or MBA, and we have rigorously understood all the concepts, theories, and everything. And when you join the organization, when the time is about implementation, probably there's a huge disconnect. um, there are theories, proven theories, but you don't get a day when you can actually apply those. So the biggest challenge with respect to role, Bakshi sir, was everything kept changing with passing days. Challenge was, and even now, that we are never too up to date to handle everything perfectly. And that has been challenging. But at the same time, I think that has also helped me in creating opportunities. Because every single day, when you realize that you're not capable of doing one thing, you try and take up three additional things to make yourself a little better. And then you realize that unintentionally, or in probably subconsciously, you have made yourself ready for next three steps. Earlier you were probably just taking one step at a time. So that was more of a professional challenge, and that's the reason I said even today I feel it, because no matter how well I know my profile, my organization, my people today, but tomorrow there are chances that everything, including environment, people, policies, processes, will change, and I'll have to get into that system. How did I manage? I got into a habit of accepting that things will keep changing, nothing will remain permanent. And at the same time, whatever knowledge I have gained will never be enough for tomorrow, or probably will never be, but there is no guarantee that it'll be right for all my life. Staying relevant is the second thing that I focused on. I may be an expert, I can, and I have already done a lot of courses, but doesn't mean that if I'm you know I have done my MBA, that would suffice. You have to understand what's going in the world, and at the same time you have to keep yourself ready. You have to stay relevant in terms of you can fit in wherever you are sent or you are part of. Adaptive, I think, need not elaborate that word, because empathy is empathy and being adaptive is something that everybody has been talking about in last 9 to 11 months. Because of COVID, I think we have really put in a lot of sense in these two words which were earlier just used. And the fourth point, when I say it was easy to address these challenges, is by valuing people. I think no matter how much we learn, or how great we become, or how difficult the situation is, if you have great people around you and if you value them, if you have great support system, things become much easier. Now, the second part of your question, one challenge that I faced and how did I manage to overcome? A lot of people, at least today, the culture is such that people talk about your capabilities, your skill set, what you are capable of doing. There was a time when initially, when I started my journey, there were two things where I used to get a lot of questions. One, my boss probably may show trust that Ankita is capable of doing this thing, but there would be 10 more people who would say she's too young. So, are you giving a chance to the person before you say the individual is too young? A lot of people would say, oh, but she has got only 3 years of experience. But who has actually seen that the kind of work which is getting allocated would need 18 years of experience? So, can't there be any newness? Can't we change the process? Can't there be a better way? Why something that we used to do for 3 months with the help of technology, we are doing in 3 seconds? Because there was acceptance from the leadership team. They said that yes, the newness has to be accepted if at all it is right. The second challenge that I faced was we were in a habit of assuming that she's a female. So this work would need 10 to 11 hours of working from office. Will you be able to stay late? Or you don't take up this role because you know what, sometimes we end up working till 12:30, and even when we get back home we'll have to get onto a call. You'll have to take care of your family, so don't get into it. So I think there were days when people used to assume and presume or take decisions on somebody else's part. I'm not saying all females can work for 12 hours, or for that matter all men can work for 12 hours. Anybody and everybody would have their own personal space. The group or the leadership team or your manager should be open enough to speak to you directly, to understand what kind of personality you are, how well and how you would be able to contribute to the work that is defined for you. And I have been fortunate enough to work with such leaders, and probably that's the reason 16 years with the same company, because we request people to respect each other. A lot of people would say you cannot request or you cannot ask for it. It's not about self, it's about the entire group, entire tribe. That if you do not value the person who you work with, you will not be able to do anything. And I think we have strongly followed that in the system, and that has really helped each one of us um, overcoming the challenges, whatever it may have been.
Oh, what a talk on leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, are you watching? And I am looking at people and I can see that Utpal Dar Sahab said, what is the subject of new DNA of leadership? Wow. Mr. Utpal Dar, thank you for joining. And I can see, and from Milane, from Spain, is there watching us and sharing her questions to Ankita. Milane, she is here. And I can see from Jamaica, Peter is there and looking at us and watching this show. At the same time, I could see Vivek Harkoli, a well-known name in the business industry, watching. I can see even Aditya Vidya Sagar from Lucknow. He called me during the day. He said, I know Dr. Ankita Singh. I would love to be there. And what she just talked about is staying relevant. Things will come, things will change. And she specifically is talking about, which we have been talking last 9 to 11 to 12 months, adaptive and empathy. And one important factor which Ankita has talked in this leadership lesson, what we are listening from such a profound business leader, is valuing people who are working for you, whether at home or in your professional capacity. That is where you develop trust, transparency, and togetherness. Three T's I have been talking a lot. And respecting people for their contribution. And she did mention about some of the challenges. hey, she cannot do it, she's too young. But today, when we look at our future leaders, when we look at young leaders, they have the capability, they have the talent to deliver. They may need guidance, but Ankita, I have been very lucky in my life. I have done reverse mentoring since 2015. I give my young people opportunity to mentor me because in that process, I want to learn. Having said that, she did touch very important area which we talk about COVID 19. And she talked about even now we are facing a lot of challenges. So my question now goes into COVID 19, Ankita ji. Now, BC is a history. DC, we are still there. I don't know when we go to AC, hopefully soon. Before we started and went live, we were talking about how tough it has been. But then I am trying to go back to Bangkok and work with Il Narula and PA, my French guy, and do 1 week back to back programs. And because already we have Larsen and Toubro, Aditya Birla Company, as well as a public program of Roadmap to Success. So we have all gone through tough period of COVID-19. I am looking at you as a professional. Though I know I have been watching, I am your follower. You must understand, I am your continuous follower. And I have seen you contributing not only to your organization, but to the entire world. You came on my shows, couple of shows, Women Power, as well as we were together on this other day in Rajasthan University, along with Carolina, another great partner of mine in Singapore, a Polish lady. Tell me what all. I mean, it is great to know. I know, but I want audiences to know. What did you do in your organization first? When this pandemic came and it literally hit us, as a business HR leader, what were your simple initiatives to make things to be possible for your employees to keep business continuity on with an approach of agility and being compassionate? And at the same time, you were contributing to the external world. You
So,
take
Bakshi sir, I think we kept it very simple. We started. I think we have always taken care of our people, as I initially said, that their respect is the most important aspect when we talk about Signex's culture. So we have always taken care of our people, and I think we continued with that approach. The moment we heard about COVID, much before the lockdown was announced, we ensured all our people are back at home. uh, I don't think we initially or for many days we even spoke about work. How will you manage your work? It was just that, are you back home? People who were outstationed, we checked with them, are you back to your hometown? Is everybody at your home is safe? Do you need any help from us? So it was more, or I would say it was purely about people. It was the second level, which was after a couple of months, when we started checking with them, are you okay? Are you settled? Can we continue with the work? And what would be the amount, or how much, for how long you'll be able to connect and you'll be able to contribute? So what I'm trying to say, we went really slow. We took baby step. We thought 10 times before we finalized any policy or we made any communication to our employees. We knew that it's a very sensitive situation where everybody is more concerned about their people and would not be the right thing to talk purely about business. And that's what we did initially. That's what we've been doing now. Challenge, if you ask what was the biggest challenge, I think challenge was everybody's situation. So when you are working from office and when everything is normal, you come out with a policy and you think that this policy will cater to everybody's needs. So if you have 8,000 employees, if you have 10,000 employees, this is the policy and that is what they will accept. Now, because of COVID, when everybody is working from home, the expectations and the challenges were different for each individual. So there was no way that we could give one solution for all the individuals. So we literally had to move all our approaches from the generalized section to the personalized section. So if you ask me, did you actually go ahead with major changes? No. We kept our values, ethics system, our processes, our policies, our employee engagement systems, our joining, hiring, anything and everything. The fundamentals were same. We just took those steps which were necessary at that point in time, like from personal or for face to virtual. And wherever we knew that a virtual interaction would hamper, we ensured that we connect everybody to the leadership team. So in nutshell, I would say primary focus was taking care of our people, telling them what is actually happening. I have seen a lot of organizations where people were not even made aware that where we are headed. Fine, we will not give salary, but for how long? We would be doing these changes in the system, but what kind of changes? When you hear senior management talk about certain things, senior management would say, we have to share the bigger picture. But the problem is employees at the most lower level, they would not understand your bigger picture all the time. What they would be interested in, all those small pieces, all those stories that's forming your organization. And we ensured, if at all we are delaying a month's salary, we did not just send a mail, we got them in front of us. We told them that this is the reason, this is what we are doing, this is how it will happen. So why, how, and what was very clearly communicated. And that's what we have been doing, and we intend to continue even going forward. Now that's about Signex Datamatics. When I talk about these sessions that we just discussed, or the forums where we connect, I think it's very important because the situation is new for each one of us. When a lot of people say that you go and share what you have learned, or when you are delivering a speech or you're taking guest lecture, you are sharing your expertise. I take it in a little different manner. When I sit on a panel with 4 people, probably I just share my experience that this is what we are doing and this is what I have learned. But when I come back with learning from 3 more people, that how well they have handled, what's their best learning, what were the hits and misses, and how I can implement, or whatever positives and learnings I can take from them. And that's the reason I have been actively participating and learning. It's great to contribute, because when we say that we are here to coexist, we are a tribe, it is really important that obviously there are individual pockets, but whatever you are doing good, that has to be shared. And at the same time, the challenges or the misses that you have seen because of the actions or decisions that you have taken in your individual organization, even that has to be shared with the community at large, so that they don't repeat it or they don't get into the trap unnecessarily. So that has been the reason why I'm active otherwise as well.
Very powerful. That means, ladies and gentlemen, she really talked about simple baby steps of communicating. I have said 7 times communication, because the communication channels had to be on, whatever we are doing. And she shared how she did in our own organization, kept communicating with the employees, what, when, where, because in case there's a breakage of communication, then there are issues. Having said that, then she talked about again communicating with the general masses to the external world. And she brilliantly says that while she has been part of various programs, but she gets she sees other people talking about their experiences, their challenges, their issues, and how did they overcome. She comes out more knowledgeable, because knowledge is power. Knowledge becomes potential power when you start using it, and knowledge becomes kinetic power when you start sharing it. So she has built knowledge, she has shared knowledge, and she has learned from other people's knowledge, because then we use, like I'm sitting today with Ankita. I have picked up, I have noted, I am a good writer, fast writer. I have noted down a lot of points which are going to be important for me, for my life, for my organization, for my people, to take it forward. That is what is happening. And I can see Costa Acharya from Indonesia, Purva Kata. Hi, Costa, long time. How have you been? You're joined now. I can see Shripa Banerjee joined from Hyderabad. And I can see from Jamaica, we got Joseph already there. And that's how, ladies and gentlemen, we are taking this discussion forward in a simple way, trying to know about great experiences of a very great person called Dr. Ankita Singh, and business HR leader handling a global role of business HR, including other areas. Now, my next question comes to you, Dr. Ankita, is now we are certainly now almost at the fag end of DC. Hopefully, the second wave should not get into a disaster, because I understand Maharashtra, Mumbai, Ahmedabad, even Delhi to some extent, last couple of days or a week is giving us shock waves. I see my kids are in Canada. Canada is still into lockdown. London, my brother lives in London, is another lockdown. So we see a lot of things happening around the world. But at the same time, I see that our business, which has got to move on, which has got to move on, which has got to move on. And I believe that a lot of things have changed in the last 1 year. February 2020 and March 21. A lot of things have already changed. And I want to know from you, though I have made my own skill set called codeability, which is on the social media. I can see World Economic Forum and all that, and Harvard giving the skill set required in today's environment. But I'm not talking about them. Skilling, reskilling, and cross-functional skilling. I want to know from you, as a professional, as a business leader, what kind of skill sets are going to be there now, or which has already changed, which are important for professionals to pick up? Though a lot of people have picked up a lot of skills, they have spent time. But what is your list? Maybe you have created 4 or 5 skill sets which are important for any professional, any part of the world, to be effective in days to come. Because this is very important now.
Absolutely.
Reskill and upskill and cross-functional skill and whatever. So can you provide us a list? Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to get a list from someone who is most admired HR personality of the country, who has done so much in our own organization, as well as doing so much for the world. And here is how she can share with us some of the list which is going to be important for all of us. Yes, Dr. Singh.
Thank you. Thank you for that question. I believe, Bakshi sir, that each individual is different, and the situation in which we are would also become a driving force in deciding what skill set should be added. So if I talk about myself, I think empathy was not something which I added because of COVID. Empathy always existed. Probably adaptability, the percentage I used to focus on in terms of adaptability would have been a little lower before COVID. So the percentage or the focus has definitely increased when I talk about adaptability. So there is no definite list that I can share with everybody, or that everybody would want to take up. But yes, there are few general I would say skill sets or the steps that we need to take. I think I have already narrated that somewhat list in my previous questions. One is stay relevant, because with COVID, we have understood that nothing is going to remain same. There is a probability. A lot of people, they say that it's not that 100% of market is going to change. Obviously, it's not going to happen. But there's no harm in understanding that tomorrow, when everything is changing, what that trend will be and how relevant I am. Or there is no guarantee that whatever trend has been predicted, 100% chances are there it will remain as is. There is a possibility that we say that this is how 2025 would be, and when we actually are in 2025, it'll be completely different. So when I say relevant, I mean your pace of adapting, your pace of learnability. Why either you are unlearning, relearning, or upskilling, it should be matching with the pace of change that is happening around you. So that's really important. So pace is one, your relevance is second, adaptability is third, empathy, I would say, no matter where we exist, what era we exist, that should never go away. And to me, I have not seen this added in a lot, but respect is something which a lot of people say it's more of empathy. But I think no, the situation, what the other person is in or what the other person is going through, we can definitely understand it and we can become empathetic. But not every time we give the due respect to the individual and we unintentionally miss their situation or their challenges. It's really important when we are talking about our professional journey, we understand the system, we respect the system, we respect values, we respect ethics, we respect every individual that is around us. And the last is, more importantly, we respect ourselves. So there shouldn't be any compromise in terms of respecting and giving value to oneself either. So that's my take, Bakshi sir. I I know there are, if at all I talk about what we have been talking in other forums about 4 C's, I can always talk and talk about creativity and cognitive thinking, but I'm sure everybody is aware. These are a few very simple things, very simple skill sets, which I think we should on. The rest of the things will anyway fall in place. So I would not assume that if a CA wants to become a CA, he would not take care of the technical skill set that is required to become a CA. That will by default fall in place. They will learn how to collaborate and how to work in a team. Probably we miss on certain few of these points, which each one of us should be thinking aloud and should consider.
Very great. I think you have actually, in both the questions, you have combined and given us a lot of lists, which is specifically on the remaining relevant agility and adaptability. And I always say agility, business ability, capability, deliverability, engageability, flexibility, genuine ability, high potential ability, and innovation ability. You talked about creativity, you talked about staying relevant, you talked about empathy, which is very, very important. I think, ladies and gentlemen, we are trying to understand a list, and there are each individual, as Dr. Ankita says, is individual, is different. And I can see Simi Sood already joined from Bangkok. Hi, Simi, how are you? Good to see you around. And I can see my friend Yogesh joined from Sri Lanka. Wow, good to see you around. I'm still looking at Ash has joined from Brisbane. Ladies and gentlemen, you are getting some of the great thoughts from a great leader. In the meanwhile, I'm get another question for Dr. Ankita Singh. I am a proud Indian, no doubt about it. You are a proud Indian. I look at 2020 February, the entire Western world said India is going to be a disaster. The videos, the media is still on, and we can see those videos about COVID. But in February 2021, exactly 1 year, we see India different. India is healing the world. India is sending vaccination to the entire world. And India has got its own vaccination program, which is going on well. And in fact, it should be opened up to all levels now, students, the corporate managers, all ages. We are a very strong IT hub. We are a very strong pharma hub. We are going to be very strong manufacturing hub in days to come. I want to ask from you this question that while all this is happening, India is going to be global talent, locally and locally. How do you see Indian leadership? And especially, I'm not talking about political leadership here at this point of time. How do you see Indian business leadership going forward to make this possible? And in case you have some messages for Indian business leaders, whichever level they are, whether they are in marketing or they are in sales or HR or finance, they're all business leaders. We are all business leaders. I am an HR leader, I am a business leader. You are an HR, you are a business. Operation, manufacturing is a business. We are all business. What is your one, two, three? Those three qualities of a great leader, especially when I am talking about India becoming global talent, locally, leading the world, because our business leaders are around the world, leading the world with great leadership qualities. Maybe three things you can share with us.
A difficult one, but I would say first is introspection, good introspection, that what you are capable of doing. I think we have been really low on that front. When the situation hit us, we could manufacture things in a month's time, which we just believe that we can just import, right? But when the situation was such that we could not get it from anywhere else, um, the manpower or the workforce was such that we easily enabled ourselves, and we delivered in no time. So to leaders, and especially if at all primarily we are talking about India, we have to, when we are doing introspection, we need to understand what the capabilities are. Second, I would say always be open to connect and collaborate. So I have seen now few people immediately, we sometimes, not everybody, but few of us are in a habit of talking with a little bit of ego. I'm capable of doing everything. But at the end of the day, we talk about human beings, we talk about organizations, we talk about India as a whole, we talk about world as a whole. I don't think individually anything can work as beautifully as we can work when we are working in a more collaborative manner. So probably when we are talking about services or products, obviously there are chances where 5% of it has to come from somewhere else. Before being so strict, so sure about saying that I am self capable and I don't need any help from anybody, think about it, because maybe you will do more harm than good to your company or organization if we start thinking that I don't need anybody. And that's what we talk about individuals as well. The day we feel that we have attained everything, there's no learning, there's no growth. So similarly, everybody should accept that we need to collaborate, ask for help if needed. And third is, do your best as per your capacity. So whatever you can do, take only that much. As I may think that I can do 10 different things, but at the end of the day, I will only have 24 hours, and the entire 24 hours cannot be given to what I want to do. I need to sleep, I need to eat, I need to attend my family, I need to take care of my kid. So my capability can be a 24 hours capability, but the time I have in my hand is probably 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, where I can do it in the most productive manner. So that acceptance, that realization should be there. So if at all you ask only for 3 points, my top three would be these three.
That sounds great, but I have another question coming to this question.
Yeah,
Leadership in
sure.
crisis. When the crisis comes, how and what leaders need to do. That's very, very important for, because today we got caught into COVID. We don't know. World is uncertain. We call about VUCA world, uncertain and volatile and complex and ambiguous. But I don't agree on this VUCA. I call about V is vision, U is not uncertain. I call it unbelievable, unheard, unknown business performance. And C is not complexity. I call it capability and competence. A is not ambiguous. I call it alignment. I want to
Absolutely.
know you, what is that leadership in a crisis need to do? And I want to tell you why I'm asking this question is I am running women power programs, and I see a lot of women political leaders, 6 or 7 of them. They were very great in handling leadership in crisis. What is your view on leadership in crisis? And what is that one thing which makes them different than any other leaders?
So I think, Bakshi sir, you just answered that question. The different approach makes them different. So when I talk about myself, because obviously I consider every leader is different. You give the same team, same work, but leaders may handle it differently. Now, why they do it or how they do it differently? So as they say, rules of the game would remain same, right? But the players are different. The field may be different. Now you have to consider where in the crisis, where it is getting impacted more, where there is positive impact, there is neutral impact, and there is negative impact. So a lot of people would be playing the same game with the same rules, but with different players, with different field, with different weather. The situation or the environmental changes, the influencing factors would be different. It's important for that leader in crisis to understand where I stand, how my people are, what in cumulatively, what if at all we are together, what all we are capable of doing. But most importantly, the first question they need to ask is what has to be addressed. And something that has done really well for some other coach who is playing in the next field may not be helpful to him or to his entire team in any possible manner. So any great leader or any simple leader in the crisis situation will be able to sail through really well if they focus on their own field and their own circumstances, their own capability, and their own players. Take inputs from everybody, but just stay where you are and do what is needed. Others may be doing 10 things. If for your organization, if just one simple step is required and you have to stay there for 8 months, wherein the entire world is moving forward really quick, you should not hesitate from taking that pause and thinking about your team instead of the competition. And I think that will take care of the crisis.
Uh, Come on, that's getting so excited to get such a brilliant response from the brilliant person called Dr. Ankita Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are enjoying the talk. In the meanwhile, I could see my elder brother, A.K. Bakshi, also joined. He is also profound leader at home as well as in practicing profession. What a beautiful way Aditya Vidyasagar is saying, beautifully proposed. What a great way. And I can see from Malaysia, we got Jasmine already talking about this is the beauty of this great lady. Ladies and gentlemen, now I need to ask this young bright lady. We are already 1 hour. But I need to, we can't even know about the timing. Some people keep on asking me, how can you have a 1 hour, 70 minutes, 80-minute session? It should be 30 minutes, 35 minutes. I said, I don't know. I can never do a session of 30, 35 minutes. I need time. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am asking on behalf of you also this question to Dr. Ankita Singh. So much to do in the corporate world, so much to do in the public domain, both managing your family, managing your child of 2 years old,
18 months, yes.
18 months old, managing everything and going and moving forward. You have only done 2 decades of your life in corporate world. You have another 4 decades minimum.
Yeah,
Because when I have 2 decades, I am 60.
absolutely. Yeah,
I have
I
two
agree.
decades to work. You have 4 decades to work. What next? Chota packet, bada dhamaka. What next are you trying to do, Dr. Ankita Singh? Because your people are very adorable. I can tell you, I talk to not your HR people only. I talked to a couple of people who are not from human resources in your company, and they got connected. A lot of people have got connected to me on LinkedIn. And you people are really, they adore you. They look at you as their mentor. They say, this is the person where we can share our thoughts. And what next expectation from you? What are you going to do? What is
So,
your
sir,
roadmap? What's your roadmap?
oh yes, I believe in planning it really well. So as I said, maybe after 5 years things would change and I would change with time. But yes, I have plans for next 3 years, next 5 years. I've been focusing on a lot of things. HRAI is one thing that you are aware of. I started with HR, and as you initially mentioned, I started taking care of travel, IT, admin, and other support functions, enabling functions. Was not easy, but I think you beautifully said that your learning should not stop. And when you are part of a family, you can't say that you can restrict yourself to a room because that's a room that's assigned to you. You should have a freedom to walk in the entire house and should ask family members how well I can contribute. Can I do something here as well? So that has already been achieved. There is still one more function when I talk about Signex Datamatic. So 17 wonderful years with no plans of leaving the company any sooner. Wish to be part of delivery as well so that I can, uh, contribute more directly to the business. I can be actually the strongest pillar of the organization and be good to people. And people adore me, I don't know, but yes, I think we are all in love with each other. When you talk about the fraternity or CD, when we say we are more like family members, it feels really good to say that, last so many years and not even one person has left the team. So a lot of managers worry about attrition and how do we retain. I think I'll share a one very funny example. We were testing our, Deep, which is a website, and we were just testing our exit, um, um, you know, how do we accept resignation letters online. And I requested one of my team member that you send, I'll see if I can accept. As a manager would get the, I got a separate mail from those two individuals. We are just sending it for testing. Please don't accept it. So that's the kind of bonding we have, and that has really helped. How do I manage, or how everybody, I think, manages it really well? Your travel, your passion for photography, your external contribution, uh, working with your own company. I think it's purely because of the support system you have created. And I'm really, really thankful to everybody. So I'm right now interacting with you. Being a single mother is definitely difficult. So my mom is taking care of my daughter. My dad is taking care of my daughter. When I'm in Ahmedabad, my team members, they come home, they help me with a lot of things. So people around you are really important. And we should all uh, value anybody and everybody who exists in our life. And it's not only just valuing, but I think we should enable them as and when possible so that they also grow with us, be it in the company or outside the organization.
Just brilliant and elegant. I tell you, Dr. Ankita Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, those days, old days, 20 years, 25 years with one company we used to talk about. When I used to hire in India in 1997, 2000. Oh, you have been with one company for so many years. What a fascinating thing. Or even companies like German, Siemens, Japanese, long-term, lifetime employment. And here is a fascinating, dynamic, versatile, young, bright, 17 years with one company, and she's sharing the success story. And she has a clear roadmap to move forward. And in that roadmap, she will keep on adding value to various lives in the people. I wish I get a mentor like you, Dr. Ankita Singh. My last question to you is, Dr. Singh, Ankita, you know, I'm running this program, hashtag Women Power, a global movement, 1 million people on this platform by 2024. People call me mad. I am mad. And I have done around 550,000 people around the world till now. You have been part of that program as well. How do you see this mission going forward? And how do you see you are supporting this mission?
I think it's a beautiful initiative, sir, by you, and a lot of females got connected. We heard from each other how everybody is really managing so many things in their lives, and they're still managing it so beautifully. There are challenges, but you're enabling them to realize what capability they have and how well they can shine. Um, you know, even if they are facing a couple of challenges. What I see, obviously, I mean, a lot of us are already connected, associated, we are contributing, and all these females coming together is magical. But the beauty of the program is it's run by you. There are a lot of programs on women empowerment, but women, a group of women, I mean, they are running it, they are supporting it, they are talking so high about it. But when people like you talking about the capabilities of females, what they can do, how magical they can be, it gives a completely a different perspective. And that's really beautiful. How do I plan to contribute? I think you just need to tell me. You, I don't think anybody can say no to you, because it's not that you are just here for us. I think for each and every individual, you exist in the best possible manner to support, and that's really important. That's really nice.
I'm grateful to you, and I tell you, in the process I have learned a lot. And in fact, now my Saturdays are gone. Milani in Spain and Chef Ali's and all that, these 20 women around the world are taking my Saturdays. I have got only one Saturday, but I go to them on the vote of thanks. And all these women are literally doing a lot of program. I am grateful through this social media to all the 20 chapters around the world who are impacting this. And in the process, I am respecting my mom, who has been my biggest women power. I lost her only last year. Last question. What's your motivational fit, Dr. Ankita Singh?
Sir, none to specify, just one actually.
I would like to wish you, your family, and your lovely kid of 18 years. What's her name?
Sir, 18 months. Her name is Amaya Singh.
Amaya, yeah.
Yeah,
That,
yeah. We discussed, yeah.
discussed about it. All the best. And I have
Thank you.
questions already coming in. And the question number one, Mr. Kameshwara, I want you and your speaker comments and suggestions on advanced education for Asian executives, challenges in learning among older entrepreneurs and managers. Dr. Ankita Singh, a question from Mr. Rajendra Kamishra from Bangkok, ex-president of Aditya Birla Company, very well-known name in the Indian fraternity, IIT Delhi, and he has been the president of IIT Association in Bangkok as well. He's asking a question that, what are your suggestions on advanced education for Asian executives? Especially, he is talking about challenges in learning among older entrepreneurs and managers. Dr. Ankita Singh.
When we talk about advanced learning, I would go back to the point that I mentioned, the relevance. I don't think we should categorize as in who is doing what, or what kind of training, certifications, or courses we are taking up. It has to be more relevance based, where you exist, what you are doing, where you intend to contribute, and what are the courses and how it will be helping you in covering your journey, or taking the path that you have already chosen for yourself. But now there are, I think, a lot of people, they ask that there are hundreds of courses, and when we talk about advanced learning, how do we go about it? um, that's where it's a little, I would not say most acceptable response, but I see a lot of us connected on LinkedIn with 30,000 people, 20,000 people. How well do we connect with them who has already done that? How much do we actually learn from their experiences and the way they have taken these advanced courses or advanced education, and how literally it has helped in growing their business? Was it really helpful, or it was a miss? So the connects, instead of purely going by the structure, I think it's important to know from people who have already done it, and connect with them, that how it really helped. That would fetch us the best answer.
Yes, Dr. Commissioner, I hope you got the response from Dr. Ankita Singh. Thank you very much. And in the meanwhile, I have from Cape Town, it is Sid raising a question. And in the meanwhile, I got Ujala Bedi also joined from Navjyoti Foundation of Kiran Bedi. Ujala ji, how are things? And I see GSV Krishna from Dubai joined. Krishna, how is Dubai going on? I hope you are enjoying your job. And in the meanwhile, this question comes from Cape Town, and he is asking, Dr. Singh, you are mentioning, and DK Bakshi, the moderator, is mentioning on business HR. Why business HR? Why can't we say only HR? Because HR is more important than business. What are your thoughts? Wow.
I completely agree. I also don't believe in tagging. That's the reason I said that HR is everywhere. And it's not that only HR is important, or HR is taking care of human resources. I think managers who are directly dealing with their team members, they are also HR people. The senior most managers who think about people and they approved and drafted policies, even they are HR people. So anybody who exists in the system, they are also doing HR work. And at the same time, when we say HR core profile, I think they are doing more than just taking care of the human resources of the company. So I completely agree. There shouldn't be any tagging. As I said, when you are part of a system, you should always think how much more you can contribute, uh, beyond your defined profile. And if it's just taking care of your employees, and if that's defined your capability, that's perfectly fine. But if you can also contribute in other functions, you can also be part of the strategic meets. Who's stopping you? So perfect point. No tagging should be done, and not definitely HR would be a business HR. And at the same time, not all business HRs would have the characteristics of HR. So it's on individuals and the company culture.
Very, very well said. And in fact, that's a very right answer. In the meanwhile, Rajendra Commissioner is saying thank you. And I got another question from Jasmine from Malaysia. Ankita looks like more of a sales and marketing professional. Is she, are you intending to go to marketing and sales than HR? Ankita, you are.
No, I mean, the intention will never be to leave HR. I would always have at least one leg in HR, but the other one can explore anything and everything. I would have no issues in exploring marketing and sales as well, as far as there is learning. And if the system I'm part of, if at all they believe that I can contribute in any department, I'll be more than happy to explore that. But as of now, no, I'm neither doing marketing nor sales.
Jasmine, you got the response. Jasmine, Good, we talked other day. Hopefully soon we'll be meeting in Malaysia. And Vivek Harkoli, a well-known business director. We worked globally together in many countries in Europe and US. Vivek, I am here. Unmute you. Please raise your question. Vivek, please go ahead. Very respected business director with 35, 40 years of experience around the world. He has been 25 days on a move, one flight to another car, to another car, to another car. And I have personally learned a lot. I'm a very great business leader. Yes, Vivek, please go ahead.
Good evening, Dr. Singh. Good evening, Bakshi ji.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir.
There are a lot of learnings from what you said today, Dr. Singh.
Thank you,
For
sir.
me, there are two major learnings. One, stay relevant.
Beautiful.
And the second learning which I got today was value the team, value the person who are with you. And I think this is a very important aspect that you said. We must value every person, whichever designation he is in an organization, has always something positive to share with you. He may be working with you, he may not be working with you, but he will always share something positive. So everybody contributes. It could be in a smaller manner, it could be in a bigger manner, but they always contribute. So value the team, value the person. Now, you said you would like to stay relevant. My question is, stay relevant apart from knowledge. How does one stay relevant? Does one stay relevant in the industry that you are in? Does one stay relevant in the profession that you are in? Or does one stay relevant in the type of function that you are in? So that's one question. How do you stay relevant? And how do you stay relevant in the industry or in the function area, wherever? Apart from knowledge, what else? How does one stay relevant?
Sure. So, Vivek, a very beautiful question. I think COVID taught us, or COVID gave answer to this in a way. There were a lot of great people. If at all, I talk about, say, HR or pilots, for example, how they can stay relevant when we talk about pilots. Obviously, they have mastered the skill set. They know what they have to do. Now, when there's COVID, and suddenly we know that that industry is down. Now they have to take care of their family. At the same time, they have to work. It's not about their industry that they can make a swap. They can move from one company to the other company. They'll have to take a decision that either I wait for some time, by the time the industry is up and I go back to my job, or I shift to some other sector or shift to some other organization, start exploring something else so that at least I can earn for myself and family. That's a need-based situation, but that's what a lot of people did. So now staying relevant for this situation is this. Now staying relevant for the organization, you are an expert. You stay in an organization, you have done your bit, but suddenly there is a restriction. You want to develop a product, but your company is not working on that. You have done all kind of certifications, you have become relevant, but you can't work on that particular opportunity because that company, the company with which you are working, they don't want to explore. They don't have the capability to go to that level. Now, what you will do? You will make a shift. You'll go to a company probably which has already launched, or a company which is already working on that kind of product development. So that's the relevance when the situation is normal, but there is a restriction at your company level. Now, the third situation is you are already working in a function, for example, HR. Now, I know that I have done MBA in HR. I have done multiple courses. Now, suddenly everybody is talking about people analytics. Now, my system doesn't allow me, and I don't know what this people analytics is all about. But tomorrow, if my chairman says, so I have heard this term, do you have any idea? Probably, will that be a right thing to say? Yeah, even I have heard, but I don't know. Because that's the need of your profile. And you have to, even if your company is not initiating, or if they are not triggering or they are not pushing you, you have to realize what's happening in the market and what will or can be the need of future, and probably for the basic or base profile. And that's the step that I have to take towards understanding and learning people analytics, because that will make me more relevant in the existing organization or in any other organization for that matter. So these are few aspects I would say. This is what I meant when I said relevant. And one example I've been giving so many times. It's a very general one, but a little funnier one, that if at all I met a person who said I can type 1,000 words, in a minute. And I was like shocked. A lot of people were, that 1,000 words in a minute. How is it possible? But I need a typewriter. Problem here is, you have a person, his skills cannot be matched by most of us. So expert at this level. But the thing is, in which organization you will get the typewriter? So the relevance is, becoming an expert is one thing, but where you will be able to use it and contribute it in a meaningful manner, that defines the relevance for you. So that's my
Thank you,
answer.
Dr. Singh. That was explained in a great detail. I appreciate your feedback.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much, sir. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks for joining, Vivek. Keep on watching the show. In the meanwhile, Dr. Suresh Gupta, Washington, D.C., 41 years in Washington. He was on my show. He is watching this show and looking at what's going on. Dr. Suresh Gupta, you have any question? In the meanwhile, now I need to, my God, we are now at 60, 70, 80. 85 minutes, Dr. Ankita Singh. What's going on? I need to close this. Ladies and
Yes, sir.
gentlemen, I will go to Aditya Vidyasagar. Aditya, you have immediate question and you can go ahead. I am unmuting you. Quick question, Aditya, before I really go for the vote of thanks. Aditya. Aditya, I unmute you. You can go ahead. Aditya. Hello. Yeah, I think I lost Aditya.
No.
Oh.
I'm very much there. Am I
I love
audible?
you. I love you, my dear friend. You know, I want to tell you, Aditya and me, when I was working in India in Okhla Phase 3, Dadagiri of Delhi, and Aditya came to Delhi at that point of time, and he was part of my Delhi Management Association, All India Management Association, National HRD Network, Amity, anything and everything, every day, evening, I used to have. I remember Aditya since those days. Aditya, please.
Really, very nice days. I still miss them. Well, Dr. Ankita, you have been just wonderful. I mean, you have responded to everybody's queries so well. And it shows that you have had a progressive journey all through. You have not just repeating your years, you have been progressing your years. That's wonderful. And I'm so proud that you are from Lucknow. I'm
Thank
really,
you so
yes.
much, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and that's what I shared with Dr. Bakshi, that I know her, and it's good to have her this evening. Thank you so much for all you said, and
Thank you.
there have been so much of learning even for me, and I'm going to utilize them because now I'm associated with the training institute, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's going to do a great deal what you prescribed. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Aditya sir. Thank you so much. I think coming from such a senior person, and I know that what level you are at,
Absolutely.
and thanks for being so kind. Thank you
I,
so
That,
much for
I,
that
attending.
was really generous and nice of you. Thank you, and thank you, Dr. Bakshi,
I
for your.
respect Aditya for whatever he does. Entire family. I mean, I'm also from Lucknow, in other words.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
I used to go to Lucknow every every quarter when I used to be in India at that time, supporting the
Yeah,
institution there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
you're still awaited.
India
Yeah,
has been
I
one.
would love Dr. Angita to come sometime.
So
Sir, I missed meeting you. I just came to Varanasi from Lucknow yesterday.
Oh
I'll come
God!
again. I'll come
Oh,
again. I'm so sorry.
please do. That I missed you.
ladies,
Yes, of course.
ladies and
Definitely, sir.
gentlemen, see this wonderful lady whom I met in 2019 in Mumbai. I came from Bangkok to address a conference in Mumbai. I never knew I will meet such a great personality. We were almost 3, 4 hours together on a conference. I was looking at her and watching her when she was doing program, and I was also a speaker there. So there was a lot of learning. I never knew this journey will go so strong that I will keep admiring her all the time. And then many programs we were together. She invited me on a couple of programs. I invited her on a couple of programs. The mutually, it has been learning process. Uh, Varsha, Amresh, please unmute Achan in Thailand and make him video on for the vote of thanks. Achan in Savadikap, and we are putting your video on for the vote of thanks.
Yes, can you see me now, sir?
Yes, I can.
Namaskar, Dr. Bakshi, and Namaskar, Sawadee Krap, Dr. Singh. I think I have talked to you before, may not have met you in person, but have heard a lot through Dr. Bakshi. He's all in good words for yourself, Dr. Singh.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Dr. Singh, you grew up and you learned and was influenced by your parents, and substantially by your being very independent, going to the boarding school. And that has helped shape your personality to be an excellent person as what you are today. And we are all witnessing that. Your experience with companies all around, huge companies, be it Reliance, Saharas, and many others, has propelled yourself to be as professional and as kind as what you are today. And this has helped you definitely in your work. You have, I am sure, at the Signet Datamatics, created what I may term a happy home. A happy home where it is truly very professional, and also that motherly feeling where there is kindness, there is compassion. And we can witness that through your talk, that retaining employees is not an issue or a problem at Data Signetics. You engage and involve your people by keeping them relevant, which is very important, keeping them adaptable, being empathetic, and adding value and risk within the company. Bravo, hats off to you. That is brilliant. Not easy, but you have done it. And together, you also infused the skills of working together within your team. And that has created an added value to the corporation. You also have recommended that it is very important for leaders, besides all the things that I've talked about, to be able to identify problems and make decisions in order to overcome these issues very quickly. You also said in your talk today, whatever the situation, it is very important that we must communicate, 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 and communicate. Very importantly also, to be available for your team in a general way, and also specifically to address to their needs and issues. Learn from each other, very important. Keep an open mind. Respect yourself and also respect others. And I think what I like the most is open to connect and open to collaborate. And I think that would bring about the greatest of a person we see, and that is you, Dr. Singh. We love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and a big thank you. And may I request Dr. Bakshi to please stand up with me in giving Dr. Singh a big round of applause. I think she has done a wonderful job this evening.
Thank you so much, Narola sir. Means a lot. Thank you so much for making this evening, and I think all my coming days so beautiful. Thank you.
I want to tell you, Dr. Ankita,
and I hope we will get to see you in Bangkok, Thailand, because your experience in India and all other places, maybe all around the world, can be shared here, and we can learn a lot from you.
Thank you so much, sir.
So our open invitation, whenever the skies open up, we look forward to seeing you in person in Thailand.
Absolutely.
Thank
And
you
it-
so much, sir.
Dr.
Thank you.
Ankita Singh, Achan in is a fourth generation Namadhari Sikh in Thailand. But he speaks Hindi, he speaks Gurbani, he speaks Thai, he speaks English, studied from Boston, and he has been the director of ABAC University Business School in Thailand. And with me, we have a relationship of 17 years. And today he is the director of Global Talent Thailand. Personally, I have learned a lot. He is a great facilitator, a trainer of leadership, coach, world class. And we have done programs around the world together between me, him, and we have a couple of more nationalities with us, a French guy, a Thai guy, an English guy, a Canadian
That's
guy.
right.
We do a lot of programs.
that in itself, is a great team.
Absolutely.
And it's a great team, and I have personally learned from Achan in a lot. Achan is like a professor. So we are called Achan in. Achan,
Thank you. Thank you.
and my
Thank
great
you. Dr. Bakshi, the feeling is mutual. We learn from each other. As Dr. Ankita said, whenever she talks of her experience, but then there are three others where she learned from, and it's the same everywhere. Dr. Bakshi.
fascinating, ladies and gentlemen. I need to close this program. My God, I'm beyond 7. Thank you very much, Dr. Ankita Singh, for your time, for your great thoughts, which you shared with me. This is going to be a learning experience for many of the people, including me, for my 2 decades of working. I'm going to be working for 2 decades. God bless me with me good health, and I will keep on working around the world for 2 decades. And ladies and gentlemen, those who missed would be watching the YouTube, which will be available in next 30 minutes. My team in India is so powerful that within 30 minutes, everything is available, and it goes across to the social media. I am learning from the core of my hearts. And on behalf of Global Talent and on behalf of this prime time new DNA of leadership, I like to thank Dr. Ankita Singh for her contribution and very simply elegant deliberation with me this evening. I
Thank you.
hold my hands in front of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Achan, kapur maag na kap,
Thank you. Thank you.
ratri sawat kap na kap,
Ratri Sawat. Thank you. And take care.
Thank you, Bakshi sir and Narula sir. Keep
you.
inspiring us.
you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night. All the
night.
best. Good luck. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody, for joining. Good night. I will close this program with one thing, that Caravan Chalta Rahega, and people like Dr. Ankita Singh will keep contributing to this global world. One world, one love, one human race. All the best and good night.
Thank you, sir. Take care. Good night. Bye-bye.